courtroom.
If you wish, please stand for the pledge and the education. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Commissioner.
Dear Lord, thank you for just bringing us all together today, bringing these guys safe to our meeting, dear Lord. Dear Lord, please be watchful of those still that need your help, dear Lord. Our own family here at the Annex building, dear Lord, keep them safe. Guide us, lead us in the direction you'd like us to go, dear Lord. I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. I would like to amend the agenda. I have two items to add. One, we want to approve a contract with Smith & Company, and then we need permission to enter into a real estate agreement. Motion to amend the agenda.
I'll make that motion to amend the agenda to approve the Smith & Company contract, and next item, permission to enter a real estate agreement.
Second?
I second that.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, consent agenda is on the board now, has been published. Motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Now, here's the first of the amended agenda items, is the approval of the bridge contract over Hayden Creek. And there are the design cost and the design or construction inspection cost by this engineering company. And that's a maximum allowable amount. Okay, motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve the Smith & Company contract for the Hayden Creek Bridge BRO project.
And second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? All in favor of approving this contract, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, here's the second issue on the amended agenda, and it's an approval to enter a real estate transaction. We've been working on this for quite a while, but with real estate, you're allowed to not make it public yet until it's down. Because you can't negotiate real estate if it's public knowledge what's going on, where your stance is. So we're needing permission to do this. Now, we need space in the courthouse because, in the court building, because we've been notified that we're getting another judge. I talked to Mike Henderson lately, Senator Mike Henderson, and he said this is 98%. I said, is this a judge that will need a courtroom, chambers, and a jury room? And he said, yes. I don't have that over there. You know, we're in charge of space, and we don't have that. So I need that, and then the sheriff's office is very overloaded in their existing condition. We don't have any space in any of our other buildings for them. So, major announcement. We are under contract to purchase the U.S. Bank building and a drive-through facility across Washington Street from where we now sit. So it's 1/3 acres, 2 buildings in good to excellent condition, and 42 parking spaces. So we've been working on this, like I say, for a couple of years. It really got really busy in the last few months. So we've been negotiating, been working on it, and now it's been thoroughly in the process. Purchase price is $1.515 million. Rental income will be $69,000 plus almost $70,000, and there's a 2% escalator each year in that price. We own the buildings and the property, but the bank will rent enough space from us to maintain their business operations, which is about half of the first floor and some of the basement and all of the drive-through. So there'll be a rental agreement on that. Not sure that lease agreement will determine when their lease is over, and so that'll be coming through. Funding sources, marijuana tax funds, and some of the general stabilization fund. For now, there will be no debt incurred. The state is working on reducing our income, and that's through food tax. And so if they do that, it's going to hit us. So we may have to work on something, restructuring some funds on that or whatever at that time, if that happens. But that's the plans for now. Now, we're talking now about the ground floor only and how it will be used. You see that yellow line? that would be the divider between the bank's operational portion and in the first floor, the sheriff's portion of it. Now, we will have to build, excuse me, a divider wall where you see this red line. And so that's part of the agreement. And so all of this to our right will be the sheriff's administration area. There are 6 nice offices here, 2 offices here, and an executive office here. I don't know where the sheriff's office is going to be. I have no idea. Probably the little shanty one somewhere.
Vault.
The vault, yeah, there you go. But there are no bathrooms on this floor. The bathrooms are downstairs and upstairs, and approachable by the elevator and the stairways. But we're going to have an architect to design, lay out this wall, because we cannot shut off the sprinkler system, the lighting, the HVAC, the various systems in the building. So we have to be careful about that. And then, and then also the entry. We may put an entry right here for our current portion of the use, and use the existing entry for the bank. Not sure. That may be a double door foyer inside. So we'll have to look at that. But now when you walk into the bank, you go in through this double door, and then big open lobby, and then 9 teller stations here. And so the bank will have all this during the rental program, and this area back here with their bathrooms and offices and such as that. So that's to be laid out, but it's gone. And for instance, on this divider wall, part of the contract is that we do that without disrupting bank business. Now with the hammering, sawing, nailing, that kind of thing, that may be night shift for us. So I've already talked to Brian, he's amenable to that. So that's doable certainly. And then after get to paint and mud, that shouldn't be disruptive to the bank. So anyway, that's where we're going on that. Now that here's a pictorial of that first floor. 6 offices here that I've named, 2 offices here, that executive office. That's the glass inner wall to the executive office back there. So it's up to 9 offices there and lots of space and ad space or offices or whatever you want to do on that. Now the basement floor plan is the bank will rent that area that you see highlighted because that's where their computers are. Now the rest of it, there's 1 office down there and 9 rooms. Brian and our maintenance department is severely out of storage space. So this will help him. So he can move, right now he's got filters stored in an electrical control panel box room. So that's got to come out of there. He's got other storage in the sprinkler system control room. So all that storage of Brian's can come out and go somewhere here. That'll be greatly helpful to him. Now the entire upper floor will go to the courts. And there are a lot of offices, 2 conference rooms, and that will become the courtrooms. So that's where that. So when the bank's rental ends at the drive-through, we'll have a lot of options there. There's some of them. So just ways we can go with that. So to be determined. That's down the road. Timeline of building growth. Until 2006, when this building was built and opened, everything in this building, extension, sheriff, everything was in that building across the street, plus all the courtroom activity. I don't know how they did it, but they did it up until that time. And then 11 years later, we acquired the Weber Road facility, and that helped us expand our space a little bit, space requirements. But and in that 8 years since then, we've used ARPA funds, grants, various other funds to tweak on what we had. We added on to the JDC, and the purpose of that was to get them back all together in one facility, one building, and then to open up space at Weber Road for our use. We added several cells to the jail, and the Road and Bridge property was expanded. And also to the jail, we added medical and mental wing, maintenance garage, added a lot of things out there with this other funds. So we were able to expand without technically buying property. So now with this acquisition of the US Bank property, we've extended the goal. Until this, if we didn't get this building in 2 years, we were gonna have to buy or build somewhere. We were at that point. The reason we constantly need more space is since I've been here, we've added, 13 different offices or departments or whatever. All of them needed something, a desk or a building or whatever. So looking at that list, there's none of them I want to do without. And that's just an important aspect of being a growing county. So that's the reason I'm constantly saying we're running out of space. In fact, I already have a request for more space that this building will satisfy for various reasons. So I'm already looking ahead for that. So it's constantly growing. Motion to approve. Do I have a motion to approve this purchase?
Make a motion, we approve the purchase of US Bank properties at the cost of $1,515,000 plus a share cost, closing cost, to be purchased from US Bank National Association.
Second.
Okay, comment? Yes, Rich?
A few questions. It is okay for us to use the marijuana tax funds for this purchase?
Yes.
Did US Bank come to you with a proposal?
This is their asking price.
No, did they come to you and say, hey, we've got this building available, do you want it?
No. 2 years ago, we started sending emails to them suspecting that the building would eventually come on sale. Sent several copies of memorandum of understanding, and that was tweaked many times. But in every case in that instance, they were saying, well, we're just not ready to sell yet. So they listed the building, the property. So when we knew it was listed, then we got busy with it. Now there were, I think, 3 different people or groups looking at the building at that time. We were the only one that offered the asking price. Now the others were trying to bicker. So they kind of got kicked back out of the sequence of it. So our offering, the asking price, put us in the head front of it. Now, I would point out about this asking price. In 2018, Madison County decided to add to their courthouse because they were out of space. They added 2 or 3 rooms at a cost of $18 million. So this is extremely cheap compared to that. Now, this cost per square foot of this is about $69 per square foot. I just paid $162 per square foot for my wood frame house in a condo on no acreage. So this is cheap.
Well, you had shown the square foot cost through all the additions over the years, and it's
Yeah.
rather obvious it's a good buy.
Yes.
I know the many banks have changed their business model for underground operations, so this
Away
really
from brick and
falls in
mortar,
line with
yeah.
what they want to do. And I appreciate the effort you guys made to keep something close and keep it reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin?
Yeah, I want to applaud because you were looking at building away from here a couple of years ago because of the expansion needs. To have one on the square right across in this location and pay less than a quarter of what the build cost, this type of building would be $400 a square foot to build right now. That's what it's going, just checked on these, to get this property plus the property, because that drive-through in the future, we could sell that property, turn it into parking. We've got a lot of options that will lower the cost of it. The bank right next door may want to expand their operation or but you're right, the buildings down around in banks, they're dropping their size. They can do this on less square footage, and we can take advantage. And it's very foresighted. We'll be using this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I appreciate your efforts.
Harold, you might mention, what did it cost per square foot for the annex in 2006? Oh, okay. He's already got it.
Okay, if I passed it?
Yeah, you passed it. There you go.
Okay, in today's dollars, the annex would be $200 per square foot. The courthouse in today's dollars, $235 a square foot. So that's just taking the cost in and expanding it by inflation. So I don't know how the inflation or construction cost changes that. That's just inflationary increase. Now, since the Weber Road was donated, then there's no cost per square foot on that.
I was gonna add, Harold, when you said that there was 3 other investors looking at buying it, that was just that first couple of days. There were
Yeah.
other people, so it wasn't like we just went and paid full, asking price. There were other people wanting to come look at it. We just knew that this would go quickly. And just that, so there were other investors as well. But that was just, we wanted to act on it that first week that it came out.
And we knew this
And
was
that's-
excellent purchase price.
And that's why we got it, was that we got on this so quick. So-
And actually, somebody got on that pretty quick. Oh, they found it.
Yep. Okay.
Proposed closing date?
To be determined, these people work very slowly,
This has already been.
very slowly.
How long have they been on
4
this?
months, I think it's already been 4 months, I think it was.
And that's somebody from the
January.
government saying that.
Yeah. And the US Bank too, it's gotta go through their board of process, and it's been, like I said, it's been 3 or 4 months already, so I would be shocked if we had a closing date before it's.
I will be getting a signed contract to you soon.
Yesterday, September, I would be
But,
shocked.
What is the potential loss of real estate taxes with this purchase?
I don't have that down, but that is true. It'll be taken off the rolls.
There is, but at the same time, Louis, there's a good chance with these US banks going, I mean, they're closing all around us right now, there's a good chance that thing would just sit empty too, though.
I understand.
So, I mean, there's a loss there, but there's also.
What does it cost to maintain the building?
I don't know. Hadn't looked into that part of it yet. But the building's in good condition. So hopefully it's the same as our normal routine per square foot cost of the outer shell. So anyway, any other questions? Yes.
I know this isn't a main concern right now, and Kevin kind of touched on it, but is the parking that's there right now sufficient to handle what it's gonna be used for?
Okay.
Are you gonna have
Part
to
of
do
the
some
negotiations.
reconfiguring?
Part of the negotiations is, for instance, in the negotiations, we settled out we started out with them paying a proportion of the utilities. Well, in the negotiations, we gave that up for additional parking for our part. And it went from, they wanted 24 assigned parking spaces for their use to 18. So, and, I lost track of where I am
You
on
wanna
this.
put that overhead up, their building?
Well, I could go there. That parking has, I think there are 24 spaces there as it is now. And so we cut that to 12 and then give them 6 over in front of the door for their walk-in customers. So, and plus 6 plus the 2 handicap.
Plus, there's parking behind the building where the old,
Maybe like 5 or
What was
6.
Well, that's included in the total
what was the
parking.
bar? The Copper Bell.
Copper Bill, oh, that's right, I couldn't remember what that was.
Yeah, there's actually a small lot on the back side.
Yeah.
That's
That
where
can
their
park
employees-
probably, I'm gonna say what, 10 cars, 10 cars too.
And it took me forever to get them
You're
to,
exactly right, look at the
Oh,
parking on a busy day here when they're poured across there.
You see those white cars?
Our
on
lot's
the very top?
that little parking lot they're talking about is right there.
That goes with it too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm told that the employees avoid that area because it's a overnight homeless shelter. And so they avoid that area.
Thanks for bringing that up.
But anyway,
Hey, Harold, if I may make one comment, I second Louis' concern about maintenance.
yes.
And, I appreciate the fact we're gonna get rent from the bank, but he brings up a great point. We need to understand what the maintenance needs are, and if there will be manpower added to our maintenance department to handle this.
We know that, and Brian's already commented he'll need more help. So we know that. Now, when you say maintenance, I don't know if you're talking about cleaning or putting in new air conditioning. I don't know which one you're talking about here.
Well, we're preparing for the budget, start budget procedure next month.
Okay.
And the anticipation of utility costs, overall maintenance costs, et cetera.
Yeah. And we should have that by then. But Now, it's a pretty sensitive area with the local employees of the bank.
Yeah.
They know about it, but it's pretty sensitive with them. They don't know how we're gonna be with the new boss, as the new boss. So we're kind of being.
Well, you're a landlord.
Yeah.
What?
Landlord, yeah.
Landlord. But, anyway,
There's I was gonna too, on that basement especially, there's some more possibilities of rental income to come in on that as well. Especially with these federal, we kind of talked these federal
Mhm.
workers having to go back into offices, they have to be state or some kind of government facilities. So there's some more potential rent that could come out of this as well.
If we had some space, we'd have two that I know of. If we had single offices, like some of those single offices you could break off, we would have two I know of that would be renting right now, because they were called back to work. They work through the government something, and they actually work out of Arizona, but their home office is here, but they need to move into an office now.
and that office needs to be a government entity.
Yes.
So it has to be that.
That's why we're not in the, when they say we're competing with these people renting property like we're not competing with them because they have to be in a government building, so. We gotta make sure we're careful of that too.
Okay, and I have a motion second, right? And any other questions? Okay, all in favor of purchasing this building, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Welcome to the St. Francis County Justice Center. Because it's the sheriff and the courts. Now, in the future, when the rental agreement is over, then this whole area, all the way back on the ground floor, will be available for our use. At that time, we will determine what to use it for. Yes, Rich?
Yeah, Harold, one more comment. Who made the announcement we were getting another judge?
Yes,
Who did? Who made the announcement?
state.
It's in the state budget.
It's in the state budget, but
That
it
was
won't
passed
occur
Friday.
until for 5 years,
Thank you.
2030.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you. Now, next meeting will be right here next week. Probably won't make any major announcements then. Hope not. Other business correspondence?
The only thing I had is, I talked to Harold and Kevin already, but sign for our property that's been over a year to be sold, which we're in negotiations, well, we're already in negotiation with Jeff Cawley to buy that piece of property. Still, I got a call finally that they've got the paperwork done and all the things are ready to go, so you can.
That's been how long?
About a year.
Okay, don't put us under pressure on.
I need revenue.
He knows, I know, yeah.
I know.
You
Well,
need revenue.
So we need revenue, yes. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that it was still an ongoing deal that just hasn't been done yet, and it'll be done hopefully within the next couple of weeks.
That's 1.7 acres?
It's 1.7, and I think it was what, 15,000.
Right next to the salt
Yeah.
shed up in.
Right.
It just sits next to the, well, Cawley actually owns the front part of that, and the firehouse sits to the side of it, so.
Okay. Any
Finally.
public comments? Come on up, Rick. This is Rick Harris.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
My name is Rick Harris, and I'm representing the 11 military veterans organizations that will be putting on the Memorial Day service. I gave these two gentlemen a copy of a news outlet, and I think it's just as easy for me to read it to you because it serves its purpose while I'm here. The origins of Memorial Day service. In 1868, United States Army General John A. Logan declared May 30th would be Decoration Day, a solemn day of mourning honoring the soldiers who died during the Civil War. That first year, 5,000 citizens arrived at Arlington National Cemetery and placed fresh flowers on 20,000 graves. In time, it became known as Memorial Day, still honoring all those who died in several additional wars. In 1971, the U.S. Congress enacted a law that moved several federal holidays to a Monday, including Memorial Day. The rationale was to prevent employers having their work week interrupted, stimulate the economy, and allow the employees to enjoy a 3-day weekend. Sadly, today's Memorial Day, for most youngsters and many adults, it is a holiday that celebrates the beginning of summer fun. Open the swimming pool, fire up the barbecue grills, and travel. Fortunately, most all-national cemeteries still have volunteers who place a small American flag on each additional soldier's gravestone on Memorial Day weekend, including St. Louis's Jefferson Barracks, which has nearly 300,000 gravestones. And only a very few people might visit a soldier's gravestone and place a flowered wreath. The red poppy flower became associated with Memorial Day shortly after World War I. A British soldier wrote a now famous poem entitled In Flounder's Field, describing the hundreds of dead bodies lying among the fields of red poppies. In 1923, the Veterans Reform War began giving away small red poppies, seeking donations to help veterans with financial assistance and those dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome. On Monday, May 26th at 11 a.m. till noon on the St. Francis County Courthouse lawn, 11 local military affiliated veterans organizations will be conducting a Memorial Day service. Their keynote speaker is Greg Doolin from the Remember 13, a St. Louis nonprofit organization founded by the parents of Lance Corporal Gerald M. Schmidt, who, among 12 other American heroes, tragically lost their lives in a suicide bombing at the airport in Kabul, Afghanistan on August 26, 2021. St. Francis County citizens, particularly Farmington residents, are encouraged to attend. They should consider bringing a lawn chair and parking in the annex parking lot, as well as the parking lots you guys are buying. At 10 a.m., one block of Memorial Street in front of the courthouse on the south side will be blocked from traffic to allow citizens to place their lawn chairs on the seats, on the street. So gentlemen, you three have gotten a formal invitation. Kevin, we'll let you come too if you want.
Thank you. I'm there every year.
And you as well, who are all sitting here in the audience. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Now,
Kevin.
Thomas, we have the most pathetic turnout for our Memorial Day. It's embarrassing. You go down to some of these little towns I've represented, they would get 100 people out in Van Buren for Memorial Day. If you took away the parents of the band that usually comes, the high school band that comes, you wouldn't have hardly any people then. It's the same ones every year, and there's just a few handful of people in a county that with almost 60,000 people can't get a couple hundred people out to the courthouse to honor the past sacrifices. It's just, we need to try to emphasize to people, get out, because this is your patriotic duty if you consider yourself a citizen.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, we move on to departmental reports. Sheriff?
It'll be quick today. I just want to talk about some employee training that we just recently had some deputies attend. It was with the Midwest Counter Drug Training Center in Johnston, Iowa. 4 deputies went up there for human trafficking, which taught them how to recognize, detect, and investigate. I knew we were up there, but I didn't know this. They reported back to me that Missouri is ranked number 4 in the nation for human trafficking. I got a lot of good feedback on this. This was free, so the only cost to the county was meals and fuel to get there. Currently, we have 2 other deputies attending. They're doing vehicle concealment. This is for locating hidden compartments in vehicles with human trafficking, smuggling, and drugs and narcotics. So it's really good training. And like I said, it's free, so we're doing that. Some events that are coming up Wednesday, May 21st, is the Special Olympics Torch Run. We will go from county line to county line, starting at Madison County at 6 in the morning and going all the way to Jefferson County. So if you see comments about police cars on the highway, that's what we're doing. We're running on the shoulder.
What league will you be running? We want to be close to that so we can yell for
I'm leading it for a little bit.
Sorry.
And you may see me jump out and run.
Good.
It won't be far.
I know you would. I saw you
I'm known as a
run.
quick sprinter, but not for long
I saw
distance.
you and the wife running dirty lane.
Our weekly inmate population stands at 125. We've dropped a little bit. Department of Corrections, we were able to take a lot of people who have been sentenced and get those to Bonne Terre, to the diagnostic center. So 125 is where we're at. Males 105, female stands at 20. And our calls for service, I think Captain Ryan said if we had a good week, we would probably be over 7,000. We are. We're at 7,066. And our calls for service this week were about 398.
Any questions for the sheriff?
Did you get your Wednesday person? I know it's pretty late in the day. when you were
Our
talking.
our current one
Gotcha.
is still out there.
Gotcha, okay.
But right now, we've got everyone that we put out
You guys are doing awesome.
located and captured.
Man,
Okay,
you guys are doing awesome.
okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, Kevin.
We finished the April election breakdown and billing. We have 19 different entities that do their voting through us. And so then we have to divide the cost of the election based upon our costs. And some of it breaks down the paper, the cost of the ad, their portion of it is divided. We thank the auditors department. They've been working this past week, but to give you an idea, one of the 4 or 5 areas that we had to clarify was the cost of the stick-it notes. That's how we have to show the cost of every envelope used, and then we bill that back to the agencies, the schools, the cities. 2 of them owe us a check, and the rest we owe an amount. And we don't know what those costs are depending on how many of the manpower and the cost of the printing of the news. That's all finished up. That takes longer than anything else. And then with the treasurers, we have a couple different departments that we use to reimburse those entities that sent us checks in. We've already gotten their original estimates, and we just have to send back the difference that they did not use on it. So that's wrapped up as of now.
Okay.
What was the total cost of your election?
Just under, well, this was a little bit less, but about 60,000 or something like that. But now the November was just under 100.
60,000 for how many votes?
Not enough. We had a 13.9% turnout, so it wasn't a lot.
Okay.
We have to have that cost no matter whether somebody shows up or not.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
Okay, now, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, road and bridge report.
Billy?
Put your name on there.
You're up, Billy.
So we don't have a whole lot.
Billy?
I don't have anything on the agenda. Just give you a rundown of what we're doing. So we started the mowing, try to get a lot of that knocked out before Memorial Day, especially around the cemetery areas. So we got mowing in the north, mowing in the south. We started clearing out some roads for the overlays, getting them trimmed out for the dump trucks to be able to lift up. Culverts, putting in lots of culverts. I mean, I went and looked at 15 different ones yesterday.
On where you're overlaying, you're basically, if
No,
it's bad, you're replacing.
I'm not talking about those culverts, I'm talking about people calling them
Yeah.
driveway culverts.
Mhm.
New ones, new construction, stuff like that. Replacing old ones that they have, or some that are just
On the
undersized.
driveway culverts, they buy the culvert and we
Correct.
install it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have some that are undersized that we gotta replace. And then just, I had a few stormwater issues yesterday I went and looked at from some residents, and we'll get those taken care of. Other than that, it's just, we got the patchers out, we got the grader out, knocking down the gravel roads. That's about it.
You had an exceptional number with the rain we've had.
Yeah.
Been rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that rain yesterday was pretty good.
Yeah.
So while I was out running around, I looked at some areas that we need to ditch, so.
Okay, any questions for Jason? Had to work on that.
Daryl. Billy?
Okay,
Daryl?
thank you.
Jason?
Okay,
Look at that.
and I love that logo up there on that Owl Creek. That's subtle, but it's highly effective. Thank you, Mike. Okay. start this here if I can get my, oh, come on.
Nestled in the heart of St. Francis County, Missouri's Parkland lies a transformation years in the making. Once lead mining ground, this land has been reborn as Owl Creek Park, a space built for outdoor recreation, environmental restoration, and strong community connection. What started with 37 acres along the Big River has grown to over 150, thanks to support from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources and local leadership. Since opening in late 2024, the park has welcomed more than 24,000 visitors, walking, kayaking, fishing, and reconnecting with nature. But Owl Creek Park is more than scenic trails. It's an ongoing conservation effort, restoring degraded land into vibrant oak savanna-like habitat, planting native grasses, and improving wildlife corridors. Every element is designed with sustainability and accessibility in mind, including ADA-compliant paths and low-impact development practices. Building those trails takes power and precision. To open up the wilderness safely and efficiently, crews relied on the Kubota SBL 97-2 compact track loader with a forestry mulcher, clearing dense brush and trees to allow contractors access while preserving sensitive areas. From there, Kubota's KX057-5 mini excavator and CTL helped shape the entrance road, stabilize ditches, maintain gravel parking, and support critical edge habitat. These machines are also used to manage invasive species, thin forest floors, and prep ground for warm season grass planting and wildlife forage plots. Owl Creek Park was truly built from the ground up using Kubota equipment, with dependable service and support from our local dealer, Heavy Duty Equipment. Whether it's maintenance, new projects, or parts and advice, we trust them to keep us moving. Our next project is installation of pollinator habitat and native warm season grasses, where Kubota's L-Series compact tractors and implements can help establish even more indigenous ground cover and erosion control. With every acre, Owl Creek Park stands as a model of community-driven conservation, made possible through partnerships, vision, and the right tools. Powered by community, built with Kubota. Welcome to Owl Creek Park.
There is a reason that sounded like a commercial. The park is going for a $50,000 award. And
Guess who?
yeah, and so part of that award needed to be a video. That video was produced entirely in-house, so we appreciate their efforts.
Thank you, Mike, and thanks
Yeah.
to Mike for
Good
big
job,
hug for us.
guys.
When will you hear something like from Kubota?
It would be September. They reached out to us last week to ask if they could start using the video now. So
That's a good sign.
Colby took care of that this morning. He stopped and had a meeting with them and set it up for them. I would like to say that our rescheduled grand opening is next Wednesday, May 21st at 11. We'll have some food there by Bailey Joe's from Ironton and Casey's Cooking food truck. It's open to the public. The technical time is 11, but we'll be there all day. We encourage people to come out early. It'll probably rain. We'll be doing it rain or shine.
Just take the odds.
It
Water down barbecue sauce.
was 11 inches of rain on our last attempt at this, so I don't think we'll have that. But
I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Okay, are there any questions for Mike? Yes, Rich?
Yeah, just one. Mike, do you have any maps?
maps, we do. Are you a member of our Facebook page?
No.
I encourage you to join our Facebook page, and we're working with Nick now to set up a parks page on the county website that'll have some additional maps.
That $50,000 award we're talking about, $25,000 is in cash, and $25,000 is a voucher for future Kubota purchases. So, I don't think we can go by John Deere with that voucher, but other than that. Okay, any other departmental reports?
That drone footage was amazing, I tell you what, I don't know who the operator is, but he did an amazing
Yeah,
job.
I think he's in the room.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Well, I have nothing else. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye. And that voice.